You you had mentioned just before that you kind of wanted to be like Rambo, that you kind of felt like you're a bit of a cowboy. And that was funny because when I was thinking about our interview today, I was thinking about some actors, and I was thinking about Sylvester Stallone. I was thinking about Harrison Ford, and I was thinking about how, they do so much. They have a body of work that's incredible, but they're remembered for Rambo, Rocky, or Han Solo, or Indiana Jones. Like, they have that kind of iconic role, and they'll always be that person. And while you have an incredible body of work, I think that it's kind of my dream to eventually have some photo, just one photo. If I can get one photo that makes change or that is iconic, to achieve that, it would be like I could die a happy man. And I've looked at your website, and I've seen your work, and you do incredible work outside of Tank Man, but you have that one photo that seems to have, I don't want to say defined your career, but effectively defined your career. What's that been like for you?
Frustrating. I think I have the potential to be a really great photographer. I looked at my work the other day because I'm going to be a judge pretty soon on an upcoming newspaper journalism event. And I was looking through pictures to post, and as I looked, I started realizing how many static shots I have where everything is too perfect. It's like it's a good shot, might even be a great shot, but it's just too perfect. Everything's in the right place. And this is all coming subliminally. I'm not thinking it's subliminally coming into play. And I realize there's not enough motion. There's not enough action. There's not enough people running or diving or whatever you want to call it. Even some of the spot news, like in Dili in East Timor, where I got in the middle of a nasty situation with the army and the protesters. And I was the only one there. There was a burning motorcycle, and they were all screaming and throwing. And you don't realize when you're taking pictures that you can get killed. They could turn, one guy get his turn on you and hate you and tell the others and you're dead. And you're shredded wheat lying there in a blob. It could happen. And I was almost killed in Tiananmen with a rock that hit me in the face. That's another thing. But anyway, so sorry again, I lost my train of thought. Where were we?
No, all good. We're just talking about how you have this iconic photo, and
yeah.
Well,
it's been frustrating because I always wanted to be like Joseph Gadelka or like Robert Capa or the Eddie Adams, all the great war photographers. But I guess I was too scared to put myself out because there's a movie, I think Salvador. And in Salvador with James Woods, the photographer says to be good, you got to get close. And I just didn't get close. I got close enough to get killed, but there's a point where to get that great shot, you got to be closer. And I've always been back too far. But I have risked my life. There's no doubt about it. I've been in situations like when I started chasing that burning armored car the night of the Tiananmen Square military crackdown. I was out of film and batteries, but I had enough left that I could maybe take a few more shots. And I found myself chasing these protesters after the burning car. And I got some great last photos, but I thought, you don't know what it's like when you're running to something that you're scared to death of, but you just want to run in the opposite direction. It's a very strange experience. In fact, I went through some bizarre thing, and I know I'm getting off track here, but
no, go for it.
I got a telex from AP in New York, and they said, we don't want anyone to take any unnecessary risk, but if somebody could please photograph the occupied Tiananmen Square, we'd appreciate it. And I thought, you got to be shitting me, so that we had to draw straws, right? And again, I got the short straw, and I had to go out, and I was already rattled. I had a concussion. I had the flu. I was sick. I was scared, and I had to get a bicycle and go, God knows what. I could hear gunfire, and I'm riding a bicycle towards the gunfire. I had a Levi jacket. I'm trying to look, I'm just riding around, And a lot of the students were just riding around in the days. There's rocks, bricks, blood stains everywhere. But I thought to myself, well, it's more in the back alleys, so maybe I'm okay. I'll just go down the main boulevard. Well, as I got to one intersection, there were 4 tank barrels watching each road. I'm going, I don't believe this. And I had to ride the bike below the bottom of these guys. And they're manned with big machine guns. They're above the turrets looking around. Something happened really weird. As I'm going under that, I had a flashback to when I was in Northridge, California, and I got a brand new Nikon F2 camera. And I was looking forward to going to the park to use the camera. And then Fleetwood Mac starts playing in my head. And I forgot the song. People keep asking me. I'll try to remember one of these days. But Fleetwood Mac is in my head playing music. And I'm really getting into music. And I'm happy I got an F2. And as soon as I got past that intersection, boom, I'm back in Warland. And it's the damnedest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know what happened, but I'm sure a shrink could figure it out. But that got me to the Beijing hotel, where I snuck in past the goons and got up into the room of this American exchange student that made that tank man photo possible. I know I'm all over the map. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It sounds like, because you got that tank man photo, that is that iconic photo. It really sounds like it's like the divine hand of God kind of directing you and placing you there. It's
exactly like he steadied my hand, because I almost screwed up the photo because I ran out of film. And I read a book called Samurai, I think. And one thing he says in that is you never unload all your ammunition on the way back home to your base. And I did that. I made a mistake. And I ran completely out of film. And I asked Kirk, this kid, if he could go and find me some film. Well, there was nobody really in the lobby. It was dark. And the only one was around the security guys. Books. I was lucky because I hid everything. And I walked in. I didn't know this kid. I just said, hey, Joe, how you been? I've been looking for you. I'm from AP. Can you let me in? He goes, yeah, come on, follow me. So we went up this slow elevator. And on the way up, he's telling me, man, you're lucky you got here when you did, because a few minutes ago, they just shot up a bunch of tourists in the lobby. They dragged their bodies back, and I hid behind a taxi. Okay, so I'm just rattled already from being hit in the head. And all this is happening, and it's all coming down. And so, anyway, I'm sorry I broke off to that little segment. And then we come back to where we were. Yes, it does bother me that I wanted to be remembered for a body of work like Kudelka. But you know what? I guess I've come to the realization that I'm probably going to be remembered for Tank Man and not a body of work. I think they could put a very good exhibit together, but there's just too many pictures that have big ego and all that. Actually, I don't. Maybe I do, but I what I'm saying is I'm aware of my ability, and I'm probably one of the. There's a lot of young new guys out there, and their youth alone is going to give them an advantage. But I would say from experience, I'm one of the probably top 10 out there, and I can, I'm confident when I say that. I know who's better than me. A couple of them are on the Washington Post. But there's a lot of guys out there setting photos up too. You'd be surprised. I know it for a fact. I'm not going to mention names, but I know some of the top guys out there that you are fantasizing over. These guys are setting stuff up. I don't set up, and that's why it's very hard. Well, I don't know if I may have set up one or two in my entire life, and it was on a deadline, and it was a crucial thing. But in general, never set up a photo, especially a news photo.